Facebook was the issue.
We're in.
Hello,
Facebook's
everybody.
always the issue.
Facebook is always the issue. We've already been streaming on our end for everyone watching and listening for minutes on end. And the man has been trying to keep us down. Potentially because I've been speaking out against the great. I've been speaking out against the Packers media on Twitter, rather, getting a little bit of traction. People are suddenly coming around to old Zach Bruner's takes on the Packers media. Imagine that. It's been quite the year for Green Bay Packers. Maybe I'm getting censored now, or maybe we are just officially live. Welcome to Lombardi Sweep. It has been a journey, and today we're going to start out with a story from Luke because we've been talking about a lot of things on the show that has not officially been live, but we have not heard Luke's story that he wanted to start off with. So please keep us on the air, Luke.
It's a pretty fun story. So I was at that bachelor party on Saturday. And at the nightcap we went to the casino, and in my inebriated state, I'm like, how can I make, I was going to I went to the Packer game, not to work, to have fun and sit in the stands, sit in the bowl. I'm like, how can I make this a little bit more fun? So I put a bet in on Josh Jacobs to be first touchdown scorer. So I grabbed it, and we got to the game, and I was telling the whole section about, hey, I got this bet. There's the Packers winning, I guess, is 1A. Josh Jacobs scoring the first touchdown is 1B for results of this game. So anyone who watched the game knew it took a very long time for either team to score a touchdown. It took 4 minutes in, and Josh Jacobs got the first touchdown. So the whole section was going nuts, that was a lot of fun. So then yesterday, I went and cashed the ticket in because I have the physical ticket. You have to be on premises to cash it in. Yep. And I was talking to the teller, and I'm like, "What do you got for the Brewers? Like, let's ride this. Let's see what we got for the Brewers." I'm like, "Give me someone to hit a home run." It's a Jackson Chourio. The first pitch Jackson Chourio hit a home run, and I double cashed in on that. So I'm kind of riding a heater on Wisconsin sports lately, but without really, I guess the Brewers play tomorrow. But without anything tonight, I took the money. I went and got the money today. I feel like I have to put something in on Aaron Rodgers on Thursday.
Yeah, that would be good. Otherwise, Powerball. Or, you know what? Why wouldn't the Badgers beat Ohio State? Why wouldn't this be the week? Badgers stink. We've had this circled all fucking year long. We've been focused on one game, baby.
To that point, their team total can't be very high.
Hell no.
It can't be. Well, I think they average 7.6 points per game in the Big Ten, which, if I can ask, Luke, how much did you put down for the original bet, and how much did you cash down after the Chourio homer, if I may?
$20 on Josh Jacobs to get first touchdown scorer to net $72. I took $20 out of the $72 to put it on Jackson Chourio to net $106. So I'm up about $140 on two bets.
Does part of you regret not rolling it all over, or are you just pretty happy no matter what?
Because I had that thought, and I'm like, Brewers got 2 hits in game 1. There's no chance anyone's going to hit a home run, but I need something to root for because this series feels like a sweep. It feels horrible to watch these games. Like, let's give it to the 21-year-old who's like by far the best player on the team, and it was first pitch. It was awesome. So yes, if I would put all 72 on it, I think I would have netted like 360 or something, whatever, which would have been nice. But it was fun to root for that Josh Jacobs touchdown, and then 48 hours later get the Chourio home run.
See, I was under the assumption you were inebriated, thought you had Josh Jacobs, and really you had like Marshawn Lloyd to score the first touchdown. That's where I thought this was going.
I also had a parlay of Josh Jacobs to score, and here's people talking about their bets that don't hit, which is everyone's favorite segment of every show. But it was Josh Jacobs score a touchdown, Josh Jacobs over, I think it was 85.5 rushing yards, which he got 93. Chase Brown over 45.5. He got 42. I was 3 yards short. Like, Bengals are so bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're so bad.
Not good. And speaking of bad, the Badgers are currently 25.5 point underdogs. However, it opened at 26.5, which means the books know something. And I think you should jump in now.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, speaking of books knowing something. When I was looking at the Josh Jacobs first touchdown scorer bet, they had Matthew Golden, 4.5 rushing yards. I'm like, he hasn't run the ball yet this year. And I don't really think he's going to, but they must know something. I think he had like 2 rushes for 16 yards. So my advice being to everyone who's making a sports bet, if you see a line that really doesn't make sense to you, take the over on it because they know something that you don't know.
That's true. That's true. And every once in a while, you'll see like a Joe Flacco over 6.5 rushing yards. That feels weird, but hammer it. Yep. Don't even think. Don't question it. I fully agree with that. But yeah, Badgers, It's at Camp Randall. Total is 41.5.
I mean,
hammer the over there.
Ohio State hits the over by themselves on this.
Yeah, that seems incredibly low.
Yeah, because the Badgers are going to fucking smoke them. This is a close game.
The Badgers might not score 3 points in this game.
Wrong. Trevor's better. Badgers are going to win this game. Badgers, the total has to be for the Badgers around 13, 14 points. Hammer the over there.
Yeah.
Badgers are going to cover the spread. It's Camp Randall. What are we talking about? Fickle is an Ohio State guy. He's had this circled. This is where he earns his next job. Done deal. It's really not, betting's not hard when you're smart. You know? Luke can relate.
Betting's not hard when you win. I agree.
Yeah.
I could tell you it's not going to happen because I'm pretty sure I'm on like a 10-game losing streak at Camp Randall. And I don't think this is where the streak snaps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you what's going to happen. And I would wear, probably a protective vest on the drive over there because you're not making it to the stadium, brother.
So this is kind of the reverse. Like, Trevor, the streak has to end sometime, right? So when I was golfing, I was by far the worst golfer, like not even close to being like anywhere near anybody. And every one of my shots, I said, even Steph Curry missed a 3. So on Trevor, even Steph Curry, I guess, makes a 3. Even JaVale McGee made a 3. I guess that would be the way.
Shaq made a couple. Yeah.
Very funny gag to say even Steph Curry missed a 3 when every one of your shots is horrible.
It's a good
It gets funnier after each hole, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. I mean, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers here. So they got another win against the Bengals. It was another game where they let the lesser team hang around. And then now this is shaping up in week 7 to be one of the most obvious, prototypical, by the books trap games of all time. And let's break this down. So in week 8, the Packers play Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So obviously plenty of people in the building have that circled. That's a big one. Not only do they play Aaron Rodgers, a better team in week 8 and a lesser team in week 7. Like you talked about, Aaron Rodgers plays on Thursday. So now the team that they're looking ahead to plays in the middle of this week. So as they're preparing or overlooking the current opponent, they're going to be watching primetime football of their next opponent. They're going to be preparing, thinking about Aaron Rodgers, thinking about the Steelers, TJ Watt, all of them, Nate Herbig, all the Wisconsin boys over there, right?
Loudermilk.
So Loudermilk's a dog. Love him. Know plenty of people who know him or grew up with him, and he is exactly what you would think he would be.
I don't mean to interject, but we're mentioning Wisconsin. You didn't say TJ Watt, right?
I did. First one.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been funny if we did Herbig, Loudermilk, and not Watt, but never mind.
I mean, we can edit it out. That's
Keanu Benton.
Benton, great. He's a good D lineman too. But yeah, I mean, this is what always happens. A trap game is a trap game, but when there's a trap game, when the opponent plays in a primetime slot before your actual game, when you actually have to prepare for the Cardinals, not a great look. Do I think the Packers win this game? We'll break it down later, but probably, right? But seems too easy, doesn't it? Seems a little bit too easy, kind of like a Cleveland Browns situation.
I don't know if I would say that easy. Obviously the Cardinals are 2-4, but I mean, they very well could have beat Indianapolis on the road. That's a good team. Obviously Tennessee is not good, but they gave Tennessee that game. Lost to Seattle by 3. Seattle's no scrubs. I understand San Francisco has injuries out the ass, but when they played them, I think week 3, they lost by 1. So this isn't exactly a 2-4 team getting blown out either.
I would go as far to say as they beat Tennessee. DeMarcado crossed the line with that football in his hand.
They did, yeah, 100%. Let's look at the injury report. Last week, obviously, the Packers came off the bye week, and it was alarming to a lot of people that they came off the bye week with a longer injury list than they did before the bye week. And that kind of carried over into this week so far. Again, they just practiced Wednesday. We got the Wednesday report here. And the players who did not practice, that includes Brandon McManus, who did miss last game. He has a right quad. I don't expect him to practice throughout the week. And he could not practice the entire time and still play. But even so, the guy that they signed, which was a big story, he was fine. So is what it is. Zach Tom did not practice with both an oblique and a back injury. Lucas Van Ness has a foot injury. He did not practice. And Devontae Wyatt was still held out as well with a knee injury. Christian Watson and Jacob Monk are still limited. Obviously, they had their practice window open. Could be another week before we see them, but they do have to get elevated pretty quickly here. And Marshawn Lloyd, there is still no sign of life, potentially with BJ Raji on an island somewhere. Who knows if they're alive? Who knows if they are still among us? The Cardinals now. And the Packers extend their streak going back years at this point of playing a team that either is missing their star player or gets injured in the middle of the game. Bengals last week, Trey Hendrickson leaves the game. That was fantastic. That was very good. This week with the Cardinals, Kyler Murray is injured still, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is injured still. Kyler Murray has a foot injury that he hurt on one of the stupidest looking plays of all time, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Got concussed this past game. With a bye week in week 8 for the Cardinals, I can imagine they're going to be pretty conservative with both of those guys. They both were limited supposedly today with a concussion. That does not mean jack shit. In terms of players who did not practice, Amari DiMercato did not practice with an ankle. Kelvin Beachum, a tackle, he was just rested, but he didn't practice. And then Zay Jones, a receiver with a knee injury, did not practice. If Zay Jones is out and Marvin Harrison Jr. are out, that would be a very, very depleted receiving core, which would be fantastic. They are still, featuring their number one receiver still, though, and that is tight end Trey McBride. But overall, both teams a little bit banged up. Cardinals definitely healthier. Of the Packers players who did not practice, Brandon McManus could for sure miss this game. Lucas Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt both could miss this game. Zach Tom not practicing, I think, doesn't really scare me. I think he goes. But regardless, I'm not overly afraid of the Cardinals pass rush either. I don't know about you guys.
I'm not really afraid of anything on the Cardinals, I don't think. Well, Trey McBride, I guess.
I'm afraid of Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, that's fair. I assuming Kyler Murray starts, which I don't know if he is, but yes, I agree. Jacoby Brissett also, like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. Good game out of him that nobody, like, he's the guy that's playing that feels like in that Marshawn Lloyd, BJ Raji territory where he's just, nobody talks about him. But yeah, to the point, there's nothing really that scares you on this Arizona defense. This should be a game, I guess, kind of similar to last week. Like, you would have liked to see more last week, but I think I'm starting to realize that this Packers team is a team that's not going to come out and like 40 ball teams. They're a team that they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to make mistakes. They're still the youngest team that nobody talks about. That they still like are just horrible penalties, horrible misalignment. Horrible things that feels like it should be fixed in year 8 of LaFleur, year 7 of Gutekunst, year 3 of Jordan Love. They're just a team that they get up ahead and it's like let's play not to lose. So I guess that's fine if you win games, but at some point, and I think you think ahead to Pittsburgh, you think ahead to Philadelphia in about a month, teams that are just going to come out and punch you in the mouth. So I guess it's fine against bad teams, but against the big dogs, I think it's going to be a little bit telling of a game. Now I know people are going to cite the Lions game, which the Lions was a preseason game for I guess kind of both teams, and the Washington game, which Washington I don't know. I think they're either a playoff team or they're not. I mean they're probably a 7 seed. Like that's their ceiling this year. So how good of a win is that? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. This is a kind of a gross game. It's a gross game with the team that the defense is playing good football. The offense is not playing great football against a team where neither the offense or the defense is really playing that great of football. So it is what it is. I mean, this game is what it is. It's a classic, 325 game that you don't really care about if you're not a fan of either of those teams. You kind of really care about Josh Jacobs in fantasy, and you're kind of watching Red Zone, and they don't really show Red Zone much with this game because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of scoring in this game.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, shame on me. I thought, well, with all the questions about the tie and the loss, LaFleur's offense might come out different. No, of course not. I don't know why I expected that. It's just a soft offense. Like you said, Luke, like this is just not a team that's going to really beat anybody, beat down anybody. They're never going to pull away from a game. That's just who they are. So Arizona's going to hang around, like I think we all think. The question is, will they be one of the few teams that can strike, right? Dallas could do it. Cleveland kind of did it. It was really more Jordan Love. I think it just comes down to Jordan Love. Is he going to look like a rookie at all? We saw it against Cleveland. He looked like shit for most of that game. He made a great pass to Golden, a couple great passes, but first possession of the game, instead of taking points, just tries to force a ball. Dog shit. Like, that's 3 points. If you do that against Arizona on the road, probably going to lose this game, especially if Jacoby Brissett's going. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, if it's any different at all from the bad games they played in the past.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were just disappointed with last week's game just because of how they looked coming out of the bye. Usually, you get an extra week to prepare. You wouldn't expect the mental mistakes. You would expect a little bit more sharpness. I would say the biggest difference that we saw coming out of the bye, a concerted effort to get Matthew Golden a bigger role, like Luke, you were talking about, which is great. I think that completely opens up the offense to have somebody like that. If you can string some plays together, move the chains a couple times, that's when he becomes super dangerous, and that's when this offense can become a 40 ball type of offense. It's just we got to string together positive plays and not just shoot ourselves in the foot every time we get to the red zone and stuff like that.
This offense should really just consist of 2 plays. It should consist of trap plays with Josh Jacobs, and it should consist of Tucker Kraft on an all-roll, just get the ball and let him run through people. Like, that's all this offense is.
Yeah, I completely agree. We also can just run tight end screens too. I'm not sure why we don't run more of those. To your point, just get them in open space and then we have decent blocking receivers.
Yeah.
Just have Romeo Doubs and even Luke Musgrave ahead of them or something like that.
Yeah, and even on top of that, like, the linemen are good. Like we said before, this is a run blocking offensive line. If you get them moving against linebackers and corners and safeties, it's going to be at least a 10-yard gain every single time.
Yeah, they're athletic linemen minus Rasheed Walker. Like they can operate in space. That's where Zach Tom would actually thrive.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's healthy enough to be mobile enough in open space, which is a real question mark. But overall, yeah, in space, these guys should be super, super good. So we should be able to get our linemen on the move a little bit.
I have a quick question for you guys just regarding the last game with Cincinnati. So late in that game, I think it came down to the 3rd and 2 where Jordan Love slid when he probably could have ran for the first down. And they passed, and it was an incomplete pass, bringing up 4th and 2, where a lot of people are saying they probably should have ran the ball to keep that clock moving, but they're in field goal range. The issue being that they had kind of a weird kicking situation, right? You have a new kicker who it's hard to really trust him. I didn't hate the call of a pass on 3rd and 2 there, just because you're in field goal range, you're probably going to get points. But I understand like the pushback of like, this is a weird kicking situation. Would you guys have rather run the ball in that situation? This is a conversation I've had with a lot of people, and it's kind of split on this conversation. So I'm interested. To add some context, to the field goal put them up 9. So you were going up double digits either way.
In situations where you're off the field next down if you don't get it, and it's 2 and 1 and manageable like that, I hate running the football for the most part. Like I think it should be a pass and then not have the quarterback run to a certain side, right? Because if they roll out to the left, roll out to the right, it completely eliminates the side of the field. But then just because you have somebody like Jordan Love who's athletic enough to run, like you need to have that 2-way option where it's like, okay, we have these options in the passing game, and if it's not there, then you run it. And then it just opens up everything. Whereas if you run it, you're extremely limiting yourself. If you're rolling out to one side or the other, you're already cut off half the field anyway. So I don't mind the decision to pass. It's just execution just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. Like, who knows? They could have practiced that play a million times in practice, and then execution was terrible. Or maybe they pulled a play out of their ass. If that's the case, they should have gone to a different play. But overall, concept-wise, I don't think it's terrible.
I mean, I usually like passing those situations too, but I think, Luke, you say this all the time, get the ball to your studs. And as much as I don't like running on 3rd and 2, who do I trust more, Josh Jacobs or Jordan Love, especially with the game that Josh Jacobs was having? I would tend to side with Josh Jacobs, but it's not something where you pass the ball. I'm like, should have ran the ball like every guy who grew up in the 70s ever. So I would have ran, but I don't think anybody should really be having a problem with that play.
Yeah, yeah. Not that this is a big like controversy or talking point or anything. It's just
No.
interesting to look at it as a football because right, you run the ball there, you get the first one, you can probably run the clock out. But you're then you're playing that game of well, you're really still only up by one score. You might as well go up by two scores, which I'm always in favor of. I'm always in favor of scoring points. So I understand running the clock out, but two scores is two scores.
There's also multiple things that you have to think of as a play caller, like a play caller head coach too, who's very um, he has his finger on the pulse of like what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And so a couple things. One, it shows you the confidence they have or the lack thereof in the offensive line, which continues to not really get a push. So if it's, third and short, that you got to win the line of scrimmage because it's going to be a stacked box, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, it's tough to run it as an offensive line anyways. But two, Jordan Love or Matthew Stafford, Brian Gutekunst, everybody knows Jordan Love needs to have these defining plays right now.
Yeah.
Like, because the pendulum's going to swing one way or another this year. This is a very much a defining year for him. Not that it's, if he doesn't play super well this year, it's the end of his career, right? You look around at Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, etc. But he needs to have those plays, successful plays where he wins games. He's not capable of doing it, clearly. But if he did, all of a sudden you're swinging the pendulum a certain way. You got the confidence of your team in your leader, in your quarterback, and then the fan base being on board too. This would be a very different Packers team if we had confidence in the offense. But we're giving them the opportunities. It's not happening right now. Maybe it does. Who knows? But yeah, looking ahead to the Cardinals, I don't think it's going to get any easier. The Bengals defense, I don't think has been bad, but I think the Cardinals are not a good football team, right? But they're a tough football team. And you talked about teams that we're going to face in the future, the Vikings, the Lions, the Eagles, who are going to come out and hit us, smash us. This is a measuring stick. This game is going to get dirty. This is what this Cardinals team is. Offensive and defensive lines are tough. They're going to hit you in the fucking mouth. On defense as well, you have Budda Baker getting in the mix. He's going to hit you too. But in the trenches, this is a team that's going to dominate the line of scrimmage. And I'm telling you, if the Packers don't show up, if they play patty cake in the first quarter again, we will see Bam Knight and Michael Carter running down the Packers' throat, and we will see Sweat and all of them in the backfield. They will be in the backfield against the Packers. Like, we need to dominate the line of scrimmage, and if we don't, unfortunately, with the scheme that the Cardinals run and with their makeup, like, they're just a budget Philadelphia Eagles. They are a budget all these other teams, and if we lose or put bad film out there, we're giving other teams the blueprint this week. Like, this is another very much no-win game. Like, Cardinals aren't going to make the playoffs. If we look bad, we're giving the good teams the blueprint to beat us. So we need to show up this week. This is an important game.
On top of that, they're an NFC team. This isn't like the Bengals or the Browns. That the NFC record can come into play in terms of playoff hunt.
Yeah, it's this Cardinals team, right? Trevor, you mentioned it. Like, this Cardinals team probably should be 4-2. If the ball goes one or other way. If everything goes perfect, the Cardinals are 4-2. Right atop their division, kind of already looking that, hey, we can make the playoffs. If there's still belief, which I assume there is, I feel like this is a talking point that probably Jonathan Gannon probably should be going with is, hey, this could be a good win for our playoff resume. We know that we're a 4-2 team. We should be a 5-2 team after this. Maybe, we're going to be a 2-3 team. But either way, like this, it's a big game for the Cardinals here.
I completely agree. But yeah, that's got to be the key to winning this game, has to be dominate the line of scrimmage, especially, no matter who is at quarterback for the Cardinals as well. Jacoby Brissett, don't give him a clean pocket because
same thing as Flacco.
A veteran quarterback who's been there, done that in a lot of different systems. He knows football. At this point, every NFL quarterback is trying to survive long enough, like keep their body well enough until their mind perfects football at this point. Jacoby Brissett's not the most talented quarterback, but he knows where to go with the football at this point in his career. And his body's not great, but don't give him a clean pocket because he will deliver the football.
Yeah, he's the guy too, and I know he wasn't starting quarterback. He's a Super Bowl ring, right? He's been on a winning team. He's been in the league for how many years now? Weird guy. He's a very interesting guy. If you ever listen to him talk, he's if anyone can like search up any like interviews that really aren't about football, it's kind of a weird thing. But like he knows what it takes to, he's been on a team that's won a championship. I'm not saying that this Cardinals team is a Super Bowl team, but I mean, there's some leadership there of, hey, this is what we did. Like, why can't we incorporate some of that here?
Yeah. Yeah. And what you don't have with Kyler Murray in terms of just being a leader and demanding things of people, like he's got that. Like you saw him, if Marvin Harrison Jr. plays and he plays too, he will get Marvin Harrison Jr. the football. It's one of those things where he's just going to throw it up and give this guy a chance because that's how you play quarterback. He's not going to just take what the defense gives him. He's going to try to actually win. The betting line for this game, 6.5 point favorites. Road favorites are the Packers, 44.5 over under. So average in terms of points scored for this week, and then favored by about a touchdown. The Cardinals have lost their last 4 games by a combined 9 points. So obviously not the best teams in there. Seahawks are good. Niners are whatever you want to call them. Then Titans and Colts are there. But the books are expecting the Packers to beat them better and by more than what these other teams are doing. Anything else you want to talk about this game before giving our picks?
No, I agree, and it's going to be very obvious. Say right, it's win the line of scrimmage. That's how you win every single football game. But honestly, it's win the line of scrimmage. It's run the football. It's stop the run. It's get after the quarterback. I feel like we keep saying this every single week. And the Packers, they have done it to some degree. The thing that's missing from last year is this defense is not creating turnovers right now. Whether that be they're not getting after the passer, they're not not making quarterbacks make mistakes. I think out of the two interceptions they have this year, one of them was just that Joe Flacco arm punt, which doesn't really count as an interception. So it's figure out how the defense can get off the field quick. Like, let's get the defense to get the offense some, a lot of help, like we saw last year, which was so beneficial. On top of Daniel Williams being an absolute stud. But to me, get after Brissett. To your point, Zach, he's going to be the quarterback who's, hey, we have a guy, I'm going to give my guy a shot. Let's be those guys who don't give that guy a shot, and let's get the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think my key is getting out strong, because I'm looking at their schedule now. They have a bye week after this game, so they can rest after this. And then they go at Dallas, at Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, at Tampa, Rams at home. Like, they're 2-4, right? So they're not like a super contender right now. They need this win to have any chance of anything. And if they get that win going into a bye week, we talk about vibes. Like, they'll be in a decent spot at 3-4.
Yeah. This is not a bad football team. They're not a pushover whatsoever. While we were talking, I did come up with a bit. So let's do this really quick. So I think it's important to do this for the rest of the year. I have all 3 phases of the game here. I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, that's going to be the phase of the game that lets down the Packers this week.
Oh.
Yeah. So usually, it's at least 1, maybe it's 2. If it lands right on the line, maybe both teams let down. But usually, if the defense is playing super well, the offense doesn't show up. If the offense and defense are rocking, we're going to be getting a kick blocked, stuff like that. So let's just see what happens this week against the Cardinals.
Yeah, missed field goal.
Looks like it's going to be
special teams and offense.
Yeah, offense is what it landed on, but it was very close to special teams. So
is it?
We need to watch out.
I know that the defense is playing well, and they're playing well against the run. But I mean, they're like these bad teams are, they're moving the ball and scoring points, guys. It's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. I know that they had some miscues, and this is probably not a very popular take, but I think it's the correct take. Kind of feels like special teams is the most reliable part of the Packers team right now.
Yeah. There's been a couple bad plays, but in terms of, for the most part, it's been positive. It's just everyone likes to focus on the 2 bad plays, which were really bad plays.
Yeah.
Right? But
Savion looked good.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing well. We're also at the part of the season where, the Peter Bukowskis of the world are putting out, well, actually, this Packer team's not that bad because they're leading EPA per drive and all these stupid ass, graphic stats. And shout out my guy Grant Bills down in, I think he's in Madison, Milwaukee. Graduated college with him, but he's like, we're at the point of the season.
Really?
We're at the point of the season where we're doing Packer graphs. That's how you know that this is probably not that great of a Packer team.
Yep. Well, there's a stat for everything, and we are searching for the one that tells us that we're good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. It depends on the number of letters there are in the stat. It's usually not a good idea. Okay. Let's give our predictions again. Packers are favored by 6.5, 44.5 point over under. Yes, that's correct. I think Packers win this game. I just can't imagine it's going to be pretty. I can't imagine it's going to be a blowout. I do think it's dangerous. I do think the Packers very much could lose it. But I'm going to go they do win. I think it's going to be a 24-20 game. I think Cardinals are able to put up points. I think the Cardinals are able to run on the Packers. And it depends on who's in at quarterback, who's in at receiver for them and all of that. But hey, this is a dangerous team and we need our stars to show up because they haven't really done that yet.
Yeah, your head is right where I'm at. Like the Cardinals are a home dog here. It feels like they cover this game. This feels like a 23-21 kind of game to me, where it feels like the Packers are, again, it feels like the Washington game. It feels like the Cincinnati game, where they're in control for the entire, almost the entire of the game. And you look back and like, how do we only win that game by 2 points? That's what I don't know. That's what this Packer team is to me. They win ugly. They don't blow teams out, and they find ways to win, which I guess is good in some points when you play bad teams.
Yeah, I'll go 24-20 Cardinals if Brissett plays, and then flip the teams if Murray plays. You talked about it's about controlling the line of scrimmage. It's week 7. I've never seen the Packers do it. I have seen the Cardinals do it. If that's what I'm going off of, which it is, I can't in good faith pick the Packers. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove it, but we haven't seen it. It's week 7 already.
And stay tuned for Thursday Night Football, where the Steelers lose one of their important players too, because they play the Packers next week. So if I'm TJ Watt, I'm watching out. Aaron will play no matter what. But TJ Watt, DK Metcalf feels like a potential there.
I mean,
maybe like a Broderick Jones at tackle.
Jalen Ramsey maybe.
Ramsey's already banged up.
This feels like a game too where even if TJ Watt hurt, he's like, this is a team he grew up. I assume he was a Packer fan growing up, so it feels like
he was.
Have we? I don't know that we've. Not that I can remember, and maybe that's ignorant on my part. I don't know that I've ever remembered playing TJ Watt. But TJ Watt, Aaron Rodgers, that's kind of a scary. We'll talk about it next week, but that's kind of a scary thought on the other side.
Yeah, it sure is. And then them doing that really cool renegade thing in Pittsburgh, we're gonna have to overcome that. That's
Who does the Bills? We talked about this on Hard Knocks, and Zach, I know you tweeted about it the other day. Them claiming Mr. Brightside is crazy.
It's insane. They are the most fake, stupid fan base of all time. I'm done with it. Yep. And weird that the Bills are doing exactly what you and I talked about on Hard Knocks, and all the whiny bitches in the chat talk about, no, we're winning the Super Bowl. You can't even fucking beat bad teams.
Right.
Like, you guys don't show up against any team that has confidence.
To be fair, I think when you and Jake picked the undefeated teams, like the last team to be undefeated, I don't know who it was, but one of you said they're going to lose to the Falcons. That's going to be their one loss. They're going to beat everybody, and they're going to lose to the Falcons. And they immediately got smoked by the Falcons.
Yeah, like it's really not that hard to figure out.
By the way, that Falcons is another example. Just give the ball to your best player and let him do work. Like Bijan Robinson, like I don't know if anyone else touched the ball in the second half other than Bijan Robinson.
Not really. No.
Fuck you, Drake London, though. Damn.
Well.
Bijan's going to get hurt, though. So, and then we're going to see Tyler Algier, and then all of a sudden, Tyler Algier is good at football. Crazy. Who would have thought that?
I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
And I kind of have a 2-part question, but I'll give you the one part to start here. In a football game, of teams made fully of corners versus teams fully made of left tackles, who wins?
Left tackles.
Yeah, how are the corners going to block?
Yeah, my only pushback is the speed aspect, but yeah, I agree with you 100%.
You know what this is like?
They're not that much faster.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's like the fight in Game of Thrones between the mountain and the little guy, and he just crushes his skull. That's what I thought of.
Great scene.
Do I get to pick which left tackles and which corners?
I guess it would be your top 22 left tackles versus your top 22 defensive backs.
Because if I get like a full lineup of Penei Sewells out there, it's not.
No, I'm talking about in the league right now. You're picking 22 tackles versus 22 corners.
That's tougher because there's less. tackles.
Right.
But I mean, I have supreme confidence it's not going to be close. But
it'd be pretty sick
the back end of that tackle is going to get tough.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sick to say that you're the starting left tackle of a team of left tackles.
See, here's the thing though. You don't really need that many left tackles, right? Because if you have bad left tackles, just put them at wide receiver and run the ball every play.
Fair.
No. I'm not letting my team of left tackles just run. Everyone gets to touch the football. This is what we dreamed of. Like everyone is going to get a chance to run it. Yeah, 100%.
I want to see.
It's going to be trick play after trick play.
I want to see the end around, and then they did Wisconsin and a bunch of teams did this, and then the quarterback or the other left tackle fucking goes on a deep route down the other side of the field, and then they stop and toss it. I want to see one of those left tackles.
I will say, is it a full regulation game and full regulation field?
Yes.
Because we're going to take plays off.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, this could be a very high score. We're not playing defense. Fuck that. We're not even going to attempt it. We're taking a breather, and then offense comes around. We're going to kill it.
Now, the special teams would be interesting.
Yes.
I want to see a big man kick.
Can we bring wedges back for this game?
Sure.
Fantastic. That's just kickoff after kickoff. It doesn't even matter. That sounds great.
So then,
I have a little game for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Do you have something?
Well, I had a second part of that.
Part 2 of the question.
Oh shit. Okay, here we go.
Part 2 would be, what is the position group that is the best at this? If we did like a Royal Rumble tournament,
tackles or guards, probably.
I think wide receivers.
Wide receivers could be good. I mean, I think tight ends probably are very good.
Yeah.
But otherwise, left tackles for sure. Guards would be bad. Centers would be not great. Left tackles infinitely better than the other linemen.
Yeah, because I think there are wide receivers who can block. Right, you can put wide receivers conceivably on the line.
No, they can block corners.
I'm running George Pickens at left tackle.
I'm telling you, George Pickens would get punked.
To your point, there's that incredible video of Chad Johnson trying to block Ray Lewis, which is just like one of the best clips in NFL history.
Yeah.
True, but how many left tackles, how many offensive linemen were former other positions?
Yeah, you're right.
And wide receivers have been pretty boys forever. Like they are.
There's a couple grinders at receivers that I think could do some work on the line.
They are, but when you get down in the bunker and things are getting tough, receivers are receivers. They bitch out. They go home.
It's fair.
We pack a lunch. We're ready to fight. We're not playing defense, but we're gonna hit you.
The first round I need to see is like do it March Madness style with the seeds. I want to see left tackles versus kickers first round.
Oh yeah, be great.
That would be.
Although I think kickers put up a better fight than punters.
Yeah, punters aren't even going to try. They know their role. They're going to step aside. What would be the worst skill position?
Quarterbacks, right?
I think.
Again, and maybe that's a point too. But I feel like we're kind of in a point now where there's a lot more athletic, mobile quarterbacks that can probably play some of those skill positions. No, they're not blocking worth shit. I think you probably get a couple of them, right? Baker Mayfield throws a couple blocks. Daniel Jones feels like a guy who'll throw his head around, not that he'll make a block. But
Daniel Jones can play safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I think out of this, like running backs are big. They can block and running backs don't really catch. Crazy that running back just can't catch the ball.
I honestly think running backs would be one of the worst. I think they might be the worst.
Yeah, maybe.
I was really debating it in my mind. I think they're bad. I think you would be surprised how terrible edge rushers would be.
Edge rushers are weird too, where you're either like the greatest athlete of all time, or you can rush, but you can't catch, you can't run, you can't do anything.
This is going to be a take hated by so many people. I think edge rushers are phenomenal athletes. I don't think they're always very good football players.
I think it's fair.
In the same way where it's like, yeah, DK Metcalf is an athletic freak. Do I think he's athletic? Do I think he's good at sports? No. I think he's one of the worst of all time.
I mean, to be honest with you, whenever they talk about ends in the draft or edges, they just say athletic freak. He's tall. He's fast. They don't really talk about anything else. So
Imagine Rashawn Gary attempting to do anything.
Yeah.
Just day to day.
Yeah.
Read a book. Can't do it. Dribble a basketball. Throw a ball. Don't think he could do it. By the way, Packers are getting calls about Rashawn Gary.
Okay, I was just about to bring that up. Is there, and this is maybe we can do it like a trade deadline show or something, but is there any sense of Gutekunst trades a player to get his picks back because we know how much he loves picks?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. He wants that first rounder back.
I don't think he can get a first, but he will get like a fifth, like 3/5, and feel jacked up about it.
Yeah.
If the Packers lose some games, Rashawn Gary could be out. Otherwise, I don't think there's any way they do it, but I know of at least 3 teams that have for sure called.
Yeah.
And Lucas Van Ness getting hurt really throws a wrench into this, but boy, we should answer every call.
I mean, if I was any team, I'd be calling about Kingsley and Ibarra.
I think so too. He is not used whatsoever at the moment.
Yeah.
I think so too. But yeah, I know we don't necessarily want to give San Francisco Rashawn Gary because we're afraid, but that's a Trojan horse situation. They don't know what's coming.
Shout out Zadarius Smith retiring.
Yep.
He's, by the way, he'll be back before the end of the year.
Yeah, he'll be back on Minnesota in no time.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Okay, let's go on this game.
Yeah.
We've seen these type of clips that have circulated on social media before. You could tort the video in such a way you can't tell who the player is. I have 3 plays for you guys. You have to tell me who the ball carrier is.
Oh, okay.
Packer plays.
Okay.
From history, not this year. I think the first 2 are extremely easy. I tried to order them from easiest to most difficult, but let's start with this one.
This is super brainy.
It is. Okay.
Okay, that's far.
That's Greg Jennings.
I was at this game.
You were at that game?
Mm-hmm. We went to Denver.
Incredible.
Oh, shit.
That's incredible.
No. Yeah, this is Greg Jennings.
This is first play of overtime, Greg Jennings, 80-yard touchdown.
One of my favorite plays of all time.
You can also see his number there.
Yep. I try to make it easy for you guys. Okay. Next one. Let's go.
Greg Jennings.
Here we go.
Okay, this is. Oh, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. Yeah.
Eddie. I know that spin move.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
100%.
Spin move of all time.
I know that 250-pound spin move, man.
I've been watching spin moves from Eddie Lacy all day today, just trying to find a good video.
First team All-Pro Eddie Lacy, his rookie year.
Yes, I miss him so damn much. Greatest spin move of all time.
Well,
Dwight Freeney's probably number 2.
I would put Scott Tolzien up there, but
Scott Tolzien very good as well. Okay, I thought those 2 were extremely easy. The last one is a little more difficult. So here we go. I had to blur it more there.
I think that guy, he runs like somebody who shouldn't be on an end around. I got a feeling for some reason we ran an end around. Oh, wait, no. No, is this fucking, what's his name? Is this fucking Amari Rodgers?
Am I not a ball knower? I don't remember this play.
I feel like it's Amari Rodgers or James Jones.
No, this was a couple of years ago, right?
Or is that Jeff Janis?
No, Jeff Janis never got an end around.
Okay. So what's our guesses right now?
I don't have
an official guess.
I
will say this was Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback.
Yeah, I can tell by that little play action flip.
That's not Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback.
Okay, is Rodgers era?
Oh shit, I don't know.
If it's not Rodgers, it's some weird shit. I'll go Jeff Janis because why not? That would be just weird. He doesn't look like he runs fast.
I guess I don't have a better guess than that.
It was Jeff Janis. That's
nice.
I knew I wanted to pull a Jeff Janis one. I couldn't do like the Cardinals shit.
Because you can tell he's white because you see the legs moving a ton, but he's still slow. And then he takes that corner and makes, if that's a juke, that's the slowest juke of all time. When he finally sees the seam and runs to it. That's a white man.
This was the Brett Hundley year.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I initially wanted to grab a Jared Abbrederis highlight, but I couldn't find a good one. So I'm like, okay, what's the next whitest player that carried the ball?
Jake Kumaro preseason.
I did almost get Kumaro. That was going to be, if I did a fourth play, if I had time, it would have been a Kumaro.
You know what would have been a great play to throw in there, just because Greg Jennings was off the top, would have been Greg Jennings' broken leg. That would have been really funny.
True.
When did we run this play?
It was Brett Hundley. That year didn't exist.
Yeah, it's a weird spot in Packer history for sure. Okay. Gonna have to do more of those. I want to start releasing those maybe on Let's Go Wisconsin social medias. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
Little test run there. Otherwise, might do, and I want to get some fucking weird ones. So if you have any ideas of weird Packer plays that may or may not have existed for other people, send them to us, please.
I think I can pull up some weird Bucks clips, which
Bucks for sure.
Guys don't even remember.
True. Good point.
Carlos Delfino was a fucking bucket, man.
Yeah, he was.
So we will be back next week to discuss a very difficult game.
A win. We'll
discuss the win with the Cardinals a little bit, but we are going to reminisce about Aaron Rodgers. We will talk about how bittersweet, how weird it is playing against him. It's going to be a weird week. But join us and come with your favorite Rodgers memory. We'll just reminisce. We'll drink some beers and cry about Aaron Rodgers. True. Okay.